بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألا يرى أنه يثبت بهذا الوجه الإحسان فلأن تثبت به الرجعة أولى. Right. So we're still speaking of this masla here, that a man divorced his wife while she is pregnant, or she gave birth from him, and he said I didn't make jima with her, then he's got the right to make raja. And what we said is that his statement, I didn't make jima, is going to be discarded, right? And he's got the right. So then we say here that is it not seen that the sifat of ihsan is established with the swati? So to a greater extent, raj'at will be established with this type of watiya. You understand it? So what it means here now is that, see, in order for a person to get hadith zina, you must be a muhsina or muhsin, right? And muhsin will mean that you got married to a woman in a nikah sahih and you made wati, right? That means you're a muhsin. And if you're a muhsin now and you make zina, then you're going to get rajam, stoning to death, right? So if you're not a muhsin and you made zina, then you're going to get jilled, lashes, 100 lashes, right? So what we're saying here, that in this particular case, the ulama agree that the sifat of ihsan is established with this person. You understand? Even though he said, I didn't make jima with her, but the fact that she's pregnant from him or she gave birth from him, you understand? Then we say that he's a muhsin. So if sifatul ihsan can be established from this type of incident, then to a greater extent he's got the right of raj'a, right? وتأويل مسألة الولادة أن تلد قبل الطلاق. And the interpretation of the mas'ala of birth is that she gave birth before talaq. لأنها لو ولدت بعده, because if she gave birth after talaq, تنقضي العدة بالولادة. The iddat will elapse with the birth. فلا تتصور الرجعة. So rajat is not possible now. You understand it? Because now the iddat is finished. If she gave birth before talaq, then the moment, if she gave birth after talaq, then the iddat is finished. You understand it? But so therefore the masala is when she gave birth before talaq. And in all the cases, remember we said that it is possible to make him the wati, in the sense that within 6 months and more, the child was born from the time of nikah. فَإِنْ خَلَا بِهَا وَأَغْلَقَ بَابًا أَوْ أَرْخَى سِتْرًا وَقَالَ لَمْ أُجَامِعْهَا ثُمَّ طَلَّقَهَا لَمْ يَمْلِكِ الرَّجْعَةَ. If he goes into seclusion with her and he locks the door, or he drops the curtain, he hangs the curtain, right? And he says, I did not make jima with her. Now she's not pregnant or anything, right? So he went into seclusion, but he says, I didn't make jima with her. Then he divorces her. Lam yamliki raj'ata. He will not have the power to make rajat now, right? لأن تأكد الملك بالوتي, because the milk is strengthened with wati. وقد أقر بأدمه, and he has confessed with there being no wati. فيصدق في حق نفسه. So he will be believed in the right of himself. Now when it comes to him, he'll be believed now that he didn't make wati. We were in seclusion, but no wati took place, he says. So he'll be believed. وَالرَّجْعَةُ حَقُّهُ, and raja is his right. So he'll be believed in regards. So you're not going to give him rajat because he's saying, I can't make rajat. وَلَمْ يَصِرْ مُقَذَّبًا شَرْعًا, and he did not become somebody who's rejected by the Shariat also. The Shariat also is also showing that the Shariat is not going against what he said. You understand? What he's saying doesn't go against the Shariat. بِخِلَافِ الْمَهْرِ. However, when it comes to the meher now what he went into seclusion. Now he's saying, no, I didn't make jima. So which means I must only pay half meher now. No. When it comes to the meher now, بخلاف المهر لأن تأكد المهر مسمى يبتني على تسليم المبدل لا على القبض. Because the strengthening of the mentioned meher is based on the handing over of the mubdal, which is the Buddha, right? And not upon taking possession of it. So she handed it over. She handed the Buddha over. She's entitled to meher. By going to seclusion, is as though she handed it over, right? He didn't take it, he still has to pay full meher, right? Contrary to the first situation there you need actual wati. فَإِنَ رَاجَعَهَا مَعْنَهُ بَعْدَ مَا خَلَا بِهَا. Then if he took her back, it's meaning after he went into seclusion with her. وَقَالَ لَمْ أُجَامِعْهَا. And he said that I didn't make jima with her. So what happened now? There's supposed to be no rajat for him, right? There's supposed to be no rajat for him. Nevertheless, he made rajat, right? He made rajat. Why there's supposed to be no rajat? Because he said I didn't make jima with her. But nevertheless, he went to go make rajat, right? ثم جاءت بولد لأقل من سنتين بيوم. Then he brings a child less than 2 days, less than 2 years by 1 day, right? Less than 2 years by 1 day. In other words, less than 2 years from the time of talaq by 1 day. So in other words, within 2 years he brings a child from the time of talaq. صحت تلك الرجعة. That raj'at is now correct. لأنه تثبت نسب منه, because the lineage of that child is established from him. إذ هي لم تقر بانقضاء العدة, because she didn't confess with the elapsing of the iddat. You understand? She didn't say the iddat is finished. And والولد يبقى في البطن هذه المدة. And the child can remain in the stomach for this period, for 2 years. That's the most, right? 2 years according to us is the most. 6 months the least, right? فأنزل واطيا قبل الطلاق دون ما بعده. So he will be regarded as a person who made wati before talaq, right? And not after it, right? We won't say he made wati after talaq. We'll say he made wati before talaq, and within 2 years a child was born, right? لأن على اعتبار ثاني يزول الملك بنفس الطلاق لعدم الوتي قبله. Because if we look at because take into consideration the second situation. What's the second situation? Where we say that he made, if we're going to say that he made wati after talaq, then the ownership will go away with the mere talaq. Why? لِأَدْمِ الْوَتِي قَبْلَهُ, because there was no wati before it. You understand it? So if we're going to say he made wati after the talaq, that means at the time of talaq, he never made wati as yet. And if he didn't make wati and there's talaq, then she becomes bain. She becomes bain immediately, right? فَيَحْرُمُ الْوَتْيُ. So wati would have been haram for him. Well, Muslim لَا يَفْعَلُ الْحَرَامَ. You understand? And a Muslim will not do a haram. A Muslim will not do haram. So therefore we say no, he made the wati before talaq. The child stayed in the stomach for 2 years or just slightly less than 2 years and was born. The child is his, and therefore that raj'at was correct. That raj'at was correct because she was in the iddat all the time. Because he made wati before talaq, then she got the talaq, then she was in iddat because she was pregnant, right? And he made rajat during that time. Yeah, the moment the ghair madkhul biha, the moment you give talaq, then she's already free to marry someone else.